I'm gonna tell you why an ADHD gamer like yourself should buy Coral Island. I've struggled with ADHD my whole life, and video games have helped me time and time again. This game is vibrant. You live off the land, fight for your life in the caves, and become the hero of this small, dying island. Okay. I'm gonna go over 5 features in the game that I think adhere to what suits my ADHD and why exactly they're giving me that dopamine that we all crave. First up, multiple objectives going on. One of the things that I hate the most is when I'm playing a game is finding out what it is I'm supposed to be doing. I never once felt that way while playing Coral Island. Even if you're not sure on what to do for the main story quest, you're gonna find 3 other objectives along the way. The game starts you off by having to clear your land so it's farmable.
Oh my god!
As overwhelming as it looks like at first, it's an ADHD dream come true. While clearing, you're collecting potential items to craft, sell, and use. Even when I went into town to sell some of the items that I've mined, I started finding stuff to gather along the way. Not only that, but some of these items I would use to help further my relationship with the townfolk. We'll get back to that later in the video. Number 2, the story isn't mandatory. I hate having to search for a story in a game, but in Coral Island, I felt like the story was always finding me. I felt no rush in having to do the story. It was there if I felt like doing it, and usually it was while I was zooting about gathering resources. I'd run into something noteworthy that was worth coming back to, or I could at least think about it while I was doing something else. One of the main things you have to do in the game is fill up the museum with critters, and that's so easy to do while you're out doing other things. I don't even think about it, and if I catch something that I already had, I just sell it for money. So at no point did I feel like I was wasting time. I'd also like to add that I really appreciate how much more fast-paced this game is than Animal Crossing. Don't get me wrong, I love Animal Crossing, but to drop off a bug at Blathers felt like it took forever just to get through the text. Where in this game, you just go to the drop-off location, put it in the box, and then move on. Super simple. Clearing the field. This in of itself is an ADHD dream, because you're constantly switching back and forth between tools that you need to use. Sometimes even notice that maybe your tool needs to be upgraded to clear something specific, which would then distract you to go hunting for ore, to smelt that ore, to then go to the blacksmith to make the weapon, to then finally clear that stump or rock in your way. Of course, our ADHD brain isn't going to allow us to focus like that, so it turns into a nice little side objective for us to do later. Even when you go to bed because you run out of energy, sometimes when you wake up, there's something new jumping in your face, which can completely distract you from clearing your field, and I love that. Literally within the first 20 minutes of gameplay, I had somebody come to my front door, tell me about the mines, and I was like, oh, violence! So I headed straight up there, completely neglecting the farm that I was creating, which then brings me to my next point. Mining and smelting. To be honest, I haven't sunk my teeth into this enough to be able to talk about it confidently, but what I can tell you is that it's a lot of fun to go spelunking. This game gets compared to Stardew Valley a lot, and for a good reason. It's basically just a 3D version of it, which I'm not mad about. Fighting in this game isn't all that polished, but it was awesome knowing that there was some level of danger in the game when I was trying to collect my loot. I needed to upgrade my gear so that I could finally finish clearing the land, like we talked about before, so I could build the perfect garden, which in my opinion feels like it's the main objective, because I want to grow all the fruit and vegetables so that I can own a monopoly on the island. This video getting you that dopamine fix that us ADHD gamers need? Subscribe to be notified of when I upload another ADHD video. Fishing. Oh, fishing. Fishing. I'll never be mad at fishing in any game ever. At first, I didn't understand how to fish, but after messing around for a few minutes, I was a pro. Which is nice that a game is able to reward me like that. And I'm not just sitting there getting upset at how hard it is. No extra things I needed to get, just simply having my fishing rod with me, and I was able to drop my line in, sit, and wait. Which with my ADHD was probably the hardest thing to do, waiting. I love that no matter where I went in the game, I'd always find a new body of water, and of course with every time I'd pass it, a different time of day, I'd of course have to try and catch that new fish. Every time I already collected something that I had already donated to the museum, that was okay, because I'd sell it for money that I needed. There's not much more I can say. Fishing is just great for the ADHD, in all games. Or maybe I just really like it and wanted to include it in the video. Relationships. There are multiple dateable people in this game and it's glorious. I love a good dating sim, but a dating sim mixed with farming, fighting, looting, and selling? Sign me up. Oh yeah, did I mention that all the dateable characters in this game are overwhelmingly attractive? They are. The ADHD addiction was real when it came to me trying to find my soulmate in the game. I'd be trying to complete a quest, talk to all the townsfolk, and then realize that I wanted to date almost everybody, so whenever I could, I'd be trying to find a gift for each person. This was while I was still trying to do everything else that I had planned to get done before the day had ended. I never would be able to get everything that I wanted to finish by the end of the day, and that's okay because there was no set time I had to get everything done. Unless it had to do with planting something and making sure that it grew before the season switched, but it wasn't something that I had to overthink because I just go check the calendar, make sure I had enough time, read how many days it took to grow, and then plan accordingly. All in all, I've maybe played this game for 4 hours total and I'm completely invested. I'm rushing to finish this video because instead of talking about it, I want to be playing it. I can usually tell within the first few hours of a game if it's going to hold my ADHD brain's attention, and this 100% is a win for me. Follow me on Twitch for my daily live streams. Bye!